witness, I've appointed the offices of leaders and legislative assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people. We beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Good afternoon. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Proceed.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Proceed.
Order number 3, messages.
Proceed.
Order number 4, petitions.
Proceed.
Order number 5, papers.
In papers, we have Mheshimiwa Grace Mutiwa.
My name is Grace Mutiwa, representing Kangundo East Ward, Chairperson, Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay on the table of the Assembly today, Wednesday, the 23rd day of February 2022, the report of Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on the status of the establishment of administrative units as channels of devolution in Machakos County. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Order number 6.
Order number 6, notice of motion.
Honorable Grace, it's your turn to give us notice of motion.
Honorable Speaker,
Can you read with my glasses?
Honorable Speaker, due to small letters, I would like to request Honorable Katumo to come and read this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to move this notice of motion on behalf of Honorable Grace Mutiwa, Chairperson, Devolution and the Intergovernmental Relations Committee. I am Justice Katumo, the voice. Honorable Speaker, aware that on 27th August 2010, Kenya promulgated a new constitution that will change the landscape of the country in terms of governance, aware that the new constitution stipulated the dissemination of both political and economic resources from a centralized system of governance to the people in the grassroots in a process called devolution by providing a clear administrative framework between the national government and the county government. Note that Article 176(2) of the Constitution provides that every county government shall carry out its functions and the provisions of its services to the extent that it is efficient and practical to do so. Accordingly, that the County Assembly enacted the Machakos County Government Administrative Structures Act 2015 as provided for by Section 48 of the County Government Act 2012, and that the Act is in the process of its implementation, aware that in pursuit of playing its oversight role of county government structures, the Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations Committee, on its own motion, conducted site visits to select wards to establish if the residents of Machakos are able to access county government services through the administrative structures as required by the law. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the notice of motion that this House considers and adopts the report of the Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations Committee on the status of the establishment of administrative units as channels of devolution in Machakos County. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Katumo. Order number 7, statement. Okay, clerk, proceed.
Order number 7, statements.
Proceed.
Order number 8, motion, approval of the report on challenges hindering attainment of on-source revenue target for financial year 2020-2021.
Honorable Stephen Manthi, Chairperson, Finance and Revenue Collection Committee. In the absence of Mheshimiwa Stephen Manthi, Mheshimiwa Betty Nzioki is going to read the report.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Honorable Betty Nzioki, representing the great people of Masii and a member of Finance, but standing for the Chair Finance, Honorable Stephen Mwanthi. Honorable Speaker, that aware that Article 185(3) of the Constitution of Kenya provides that a county assembly, while respecting the principles of separation of powers, may exercise oversight over the county executive committee and any other county executive organ. Further, aware that Standing Order 195 provides functions of the sectorial committee to include, among others, studying, assessing, and analyzing the relative success of departments as measured by results obtained as compared with the stated objectives, and making reports and recommendation as often as possible, including recommendation of proposed legislation. Noting that the Finance and Revenue Collection Committee undertook an inquiry to establish the administrative challenges faced in revenue collection that were likely to hinder attainment of on-source revenue target of financial year 2020-2021 of Kenya shillings 1.7 billion. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that this Honorable House discusses and approves report of Finance and Revenue Collection Committee on challenges hindering attainment of on-source revenue target of financial year 2020-2021. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would wish to request Honorable Grace Munini to second my motion. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Mheshimiwa Grace.
Honorable Speaker, I stand here to second the motion. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Betty. And before you start reading the report, members, I would like us not to take very long, so we will start by reading, go to the report, Mheshimiwa Betty. Let's go through previous, that's 1.0, the previous. 1.2, the committee mandate. Then after that, we'll go to 5.0, which is going to be the 5.0 is a summary. The challenges in revenue collection. Then you read 6.0, committee recommendations and conclusion. Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. 1.1, the Finance and Revenue Collection Committee is one of the sectorial committees of the County Assembly of Machakos, established pursuant to Standing Order number 190 of the Assembly Standing Orders. The function of the committee, as stated under Standing Order number 195, include investigating, inquiring, and reporting on all matters relating to the mandate, management, activities, administration, operation, and estimates of Department of Finance and Revenue Collection. The committee is also tasked with studying, assessing, and analyzing the relative success of the department as measured by the results obtained as compared with their stated objectives. Further, the committee may investigate and inquire into all matters relating to the assigned department as they may deem necessary and as may be referred to them by the Assembly. 1.2, mandate of the committee. Honorable Speaker, the mandate of the committee as defined in the second schedule of the County Assembly Standing Order includes all matters relating to the management of county public service and revenue collection. 1.2, committee membership. Honorable Speaker, the Finance and Revenue Collection Committee is currently constituted comprises of the following honorable members: Honorable Stephen Mwandi, Chairperson; Honorable Josephat Kasioki, Vice Chair; Honorable Betty Nzioki, Member; Honorable Grace Mutuiwa, Member; Honorable Helen Deti, Member; Honorable Brian Kisila, Member; Honorable Caleb Mule, Member; Honorable Frederick Mudhoka, Member; Honorable Justus Kitengu, Member; Honorable Cosmas Masesi, Member; Honorable Judas Ndawa, Member; Honorable Moffat Maitha, Member; and Honorable Phoebe Koki, Member. Honorable Speaker, allow me to go to 5.0. Honorable Speaker, the challenges in revenue collection. Honorable Speaker, from the site visit observation, the committee has identified the following as administrative challenges in revenue collection that likely to hinder the county from attaining the revenue target of the own source revenue. Number 1, lack of land documentation. This has made it difficult for the Physical Planning Office to approve building plans for building under construction in Mulolongo, against which revenue is estimated and paid. Number 2, collusion between county staff, into bracket revenue officers, physical planners and inspectorate officers, and developers, stroke traders, to have some of the developers not pay for the building plan approvals. This collusion was also observed at the slaughterhouse, where it was reported that some butchers keep on slaughtering cows, stating that they will pay later. Number 3, weak monitoring and enforcement of revenue collection. The officers in the physical planning officers reported lack of strong vehicles for the use to move around the areas of Mavoko, checking on compliance in the building under construction. This was also observed when revenue source into bracket slaughterhouse stayed for days without submitting revenue, and the same was not noted and the situation rectified. Number 4, lack of coordination among various players in revenue collection, especially the physical planners, inspectorate, and revenue collectors. The inspectorate officers have been accused by both the physical planners and the revenue collectors of frustrating their efforts of revenue collection by going around without them and soliciting for bribes. For those who cooperate, the inspectorate officers protect them and frustrate the efforts of the revenue officers from collecting revenue. Number 5, inadequate facilitation of revenue officers. The revenue collectors, especially those in quarries, work for long hours at the difficult environment without appropriate compensation. This was likely to lead to pocketing of some revenue. This aspect of long hours was also noticed at the slaughterhouse. Committee recommendations. Honorable Speaker, based on the observation, the committee makes the following recommendations. 1, that the Department of Energy, Lands, Housing and Urban Development, which houses the physical planning offices, should ensure that ongoing constructions in the county get the necessary approvals. The physical planning office in the county should be able to carry out frequent inspections and should also team up with the NCA and NEMA to ensure an approved building do not go on. Number 2, the Department of Energy, Lands, Housing and Urban Development should also find a solution on lack of land ownership documents in Mavoko, so as to ensure that the county collects revenue on construction of building through building plan approvals. Where court holders exist, the department should liaise with the relevant organs of the national government to ensure construction do not go on. Number 3, that the Department of Finance and Revenue Collection should improve on revenue management in Matungulu sub-county, especially in quarries, and ensure transportation of quarry materials was carried out between 6 a.m. as the opening time and 6 p.m. as the closing time. Number 4, the Department of Finance and Revenue Collection should facilitate revenue officers appropriately. The officers need proper revenue collection, gadgets and basic facilities like sheds and toilets. The officers should also be compensated appropriately, especially when they work for extra hours or on weekends and holidays. Number 5, the Department of Finance and Revenue Collection should improve supervision of revenue collection in Mavoko sub-county. Targets should be set for the revenue officers, and if not met, action should be taken. There is need for frequent transfers of officers from one station to another. Number 6, the County Executive Committee member for Finance and Economic Planning should liaise with the relevant security organs to ensure the cartels, imposters and fraudsters who collect revenue illegally and prevent our revenue collectors and threaten their lives are brought to book. Number 7, conclusion. Honorable Speaker, achieving the set revenue targets will assist the county to meet its budgetary obligations. It is therefore important for the Department of Finance and Revenue Collection Committee to deal with the challenges of poor revenue collection and management and supervision, collecting revenue in cash and pocketing of revenue, cartels in revenue collection, and lack of documents needed for the plan approval. Honorable Speaker, it is therefore my privilege on behalf of Finance and Revenue Collection Committee to table the committee's report on challenges hindering attainment of revenue targets in the financial year 2021 in this Honorable House for consideration and adoption. Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is prepared by our able senior clerk, Dominic Musioka. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Mheshimiwa Betty, anybody seconding your report? Oh. Okay, it was seconded. Okay, now I propose the question that the Honorable House discusses and approves the report of Finance and Revenue Collection on challenges hindering attainment of on-source revenue target for financial year 2020-2021. Members, I now invite you to deliberate on this motion. Mheshimiwa Cosmas Kieti.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Cosmas Kieti, representing Lower Kavanakan Ward. Madam Speaker, I want to congratulate Honorable Betty for the report that the Committee the Committee for Finance came up with on challenges that are affecting revenue collection within our county. Madam Speaker, the observations that have been made by the committee is exactly the true picture of what is on the ground. As a county, or as citizens in this county, we require services. And some of these services can only be achieved through funding. And some of the funding is through the revenue that is collected locally, because it is the one that is also used to finance the budget that we pass in this Honorable House. So, Madam Speaker, having leakages in revenue collection, then it totally affects service delivery within our county. And therefore, some of these challenges that we have on revenue collection, some of them are man-made, especially where there is collusion, because that is something that can be dealt with within the offices. Some of the officers on the ground do not do what they are supposed to do. You go to even parking areas and you find those officers who are supposed to enforce that, they collude with the drivers who are parking and they get money locally. At the same time, you go to other areas like in the quarries, you find people are collecting money and they do not have receipts. So, Madam Speaker, this is the matter that needs to be addressed very fast so that we do not continue losing revenue within our county. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Kieti. Mheshimiwa Ndawa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Judas Ndawa, a member representing Matu Ward. Madam Speaker, I want to congratulate the committee on finance and revenue collection for coming up with this report. Madam Speaker, I happen to be a member of this committee, and whatever is captured here, it is exactly what is happening on the ground. Madam Speaker, I want to confirm here, we are lacking resources to do development, but the resources have gone to personal pockets, and others have been diverted to other avenues. Madam Speaker, if I can define the word management. Management is an art of having things done through others. That is a clear definition, a simple definition of management. And when we talk of things being done through others, it means that there is a principle who is sending another person to go to do another task, and maybe that task, that person who has been sent also has another person whom he or she is going to pass the message to him to go and do a certain task. Madam Speaker, I want to confirm here on issue of revenue collection. What is lacking is what we call supervision. Supervision is what is lacking. Because if you send somebody to go and do a certain task and you don't supervise, that particular person can do something else different from what you have sent him or her to do. Madam Speaker, you'll go to our markets today. We know, everybody knows that we automated our revenue collection. But these people are collecting cash. And it's one officer will collect revenue from more than 20 traders. And if you ask, you are collecting money, putting in your pocket, and it's supposed to be sent to the bank. At what time are you going to send? The message, the report that you are going to get is that I will be sending the money in the evening. Who will be there to witness that all the money that has been collected has been sent to the county kitty? Madam Speaker, we need to be more serious. From the CEO, finance, to the director, going downwards, these people are not doing their work as we expect them to do. More serious on their work, I'm very sure the county will get resources. In the Kwales, you will find that most of the trucks which are coming to ferry these quarry materials, some are colluding with the officers. Come the moment we are out. If we are supposed to work up to 6, the officers will move by 6, the trucks will come and they will collect money from another quarter, not from where they're supposed to be doing, and they are not issuing any receipt. Madam Speaker, we need to come up with clear guidelines on how revenue is supposed to be collected. Otherwise, if we continue the way we are continuing, the county is going to continue crying that we don't have resources. We don't have resources when they are going to personal or individual pockets. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Ndawa. Mheshimiwa Jeremiah Munguti.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Jeremiah Munguti, a member of County Assembly representing the then ward. Madam Speaker, I would like to applaud the committee for the good work that they have done. The observations which they have made are true records of what has been happening. And for these things to be eradicated, Madam Speaker, we have our committee of implementation, which we have given the task of ensuring that every detail of a department of the executive has been followed to the latter. And Madam Speaker, I remember one time we passed a motion in this House concerning the automation of all monies that have been collected in this county of Machakos. Madam Speaker, you realize that majority of the revenue collectors, they are only using booklets in the name of receipts. And you find that majority of them, instead of giving the number or the pay bill number for the county account, they are just giving receipts to the people who are doing, who are collecting the quarry materials. And those are some of the things which are making the cartels not to end in this revenue collection. Also, Madam Speaker, to put off this menace, as a county government, we should invest in ensuring that in all the quarries that we have in Machakos County, we put CCTV cameras so that we may know which truck comes in and the time it comes out and what kind of materials they are carrying, so that we can ensure that all monies which are being collected have been put to the right account of this public money. Also, Madam Speaker, it is quite unfair for the revenue collectors who have been collecting this money and they have not been submitting the money to where it's supposed to be. I remember one day we were questioning about the machines which are being used for pay bills. And we were given several numbers. Madam Speaker, according to me, because we have only one source revenue account in this county of Machakos, it will be prudent for this assembly to ensure that we are going to use just one machine, but because we use a system, when they have their phone numbers, they give the number so that those who are sending the money can be put into one account. And that is how we are going to control this menace. Otherwise, we are going to discuss issues concerning revenue collection in this house, but it will just follow to deaf ears. Otherwise, I support the committee, and my appeal to this house is that, Madam Speaker, we ensure that the finance committee, together with the implementation committee, can work hand in hand with the soonest time possible so that they can ensure all these things are being put into the right manner. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Jeremiah. Then seems like we have exhausted our today's business. So I now put the question. Oh, pardon? Oh, sorry. I'm calling upon the mover to reply on the motion, the motion. Sorry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to take this opportunity and thank this Honorable House for giving their contribution concerning the revenue collection within our county. Madam Speaker, as the committee, together with the assembly, we played our role. It is now up to the executive to make full force of what we pass through this assembly. Madam Speaker, it is my cry and arose. I want to plea with the executive that they take this matter seriously, and the recommendation that have been given by this honorable house, and they follow them up to the letter, because they are the people who are supposed to do the implementation. As an assembly, we've done our role, and it is my plea that they take it seriously for the betterment of Machakos County. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Betty. Members, I now wish to put the question that the House discusses and approves report of Finance and Revenue Collection Committee on challenges hindering attainment of on-source revenue target for financial year 2020-2021. As many as are of the opinion say yes.
Ayes.
As many as are of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Members, I think we are through with today's business, and we are now going to adjourn this afternoon session. This House adjourns to Wednesday, the 23rd day of February 2022 at 10 a.m.